Here's what's coming into view on Elevating Denver for April 2023. Hitch a ride with the Denver Connector, a free rideshare program.
Denver Connector is helping move folks around their community in a better way.
The creepy crawlies are loose at the Museum of Nature and Science.
We are making it not only accessible, but approachable and interesting.
And learn about the offers to help with rising energy costs.
So there's thousands of dollars available.
These stories and more are just ahead on Elevating Denver. The city remains committed to its goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 65% by 2030. To help us get there, the Office of Climate Action, Sustainability, and Resiliency has established a grant aimed at helping women and minority-owned businesses achieve their sustainability goals. In 2022, Denver awarded over $300,000 to 37 of these businesses through the Certifiably Green Denver Equity Funding Program. With up to $10,000 available to each applicant, these funds were used to make a sustainability upgrade to their businesses.
So the green upgrade that we did was the rooftop AC and heating unit. The biggest thing for us wanting to apply for the grant was we knew the product that we had currently was very inefficient. We felt like on summer days, we had the AC running constantly. Winter days, we had the heat running constantly. When we found the opportunity with the grant, we realized that it was an opportunity to upgrade, have something, substantially more sustainable for the planet. And so it was something that was kind of just a no-brainer for us.
An added bonus of the program is helping these businesses save some green while going green.
This grant made it possible for us to achieve our goals. It was not something that we could have done on our own financially at this time, so we were thrilled to have this opportunity. And it makes me feel happy for having our business here and supported.
The process to apply is easy. Just go to certifiablygreendenver.org and click on the Apply for Equity Funding link. There you'll find all the info you need, including eligibility requirements. There's also an abundance of resources, including a list of ideas in case you're not sure what upgrade to make. Plus, you'll have help throughout the process.
The team that we worked with to receive the grant were wonderful. They were responsive to our questions, they were informative, and they ended up giving us more grant money than we even asked for so that we could actually dream bigger than we had been.
Our first priority was a water bottle filling station for our adult learners who are here, and we were really excited about that. And as the grant went on, we were actually able to purchase 2 energy-efficient refrigerators for our students, and also some refillable mugs for them. And then there was even money for some compostable supplies that supplemented what we do here already.
We had a representative with the city that worked with us throughout the entire process to make it as simple and as easy as possible. We provided documentation and we received the refund. I mean, it was a very easy process.
So if you're a woman or minority-owned small business who is interested in investing in your green future, apply today. Applications are open now and will begin being awarded in July.
As a small business, we don't always have all the opportunities that the large businesses have. And so the fact that the city finds it so important to put money and to put dollars back into the small businesses to have them become more sustainable, I think it says a lot about our city.
We've heard a lot of these great stories about how the Denver Connector is helping move folks around their community in a better way. It's a free on-demand micro-transit service, which basically is a transit service operating with some smaller vehicles. A little different than how other services drop, where it's point to point, so it picks people up where they are, takes them exactly where they need to go. We picked Montbello initially for a number of reasons, but one of the big ones is both the land use being a little more spread out, kind of that suburban style land use, but also having good transit around the periphery. We found that that's a really good kind of recipe for these types of services to be successful. Also connecting to grocery stores in communities that don't have those is another big piece of it. We planned this with the community for the community. We went to folks and said, hey, we're thinking about a service like this, get you around your neighborhood, connect to those things adjacent regional destinations. How should we make this work? What type of hours should it run? Should it be free? Should it not? And so taking the successes from Montbello, changing it a little bit for GES, I think has really created a service that meets the needs of folks in the community.
My name is Matvey Lipitsky, and I was on the initial committee looking at starting the Denver Connector, and I gave my feedback, and I have been heavily promoting it. Denver's got a wonderful public transportation system, but the closest bus stops to me are about a quarter of a mile down the road, and in the wintertime I've got to walk that and then stand in the elements waiting for a bus to come. And now I don't have to do that. If I'm going somewhere locally in the community, I can directly go without having to stand out in the elements, and I don't have to run on the bus schedule. I can run on my own schedule.
Yeah, I definitely see an impact in the community. Everyone's always telling us how helpful we are, how convenient this service is, because a lot of people around here, they don't have cars. So the nearest Walmart is in Commerce City, and I've heard people tell me it takes 2 to 3 hours just to get there. And you know, with this, it's just a 15, at max, 20-minute ride. And I've also had a lot of older people tell me like their means of getting around was a taxi. They're using $30, $40 every time. You know, this is a free service. I just get everyone telling us how grateful they are for the service.
NETC's role in this is really the community outreach and making sure that everyone in the community knows about this amazing service, so that if and when they need it, they can easily just pull up their phone and hail a ride from the Denver Connector service.
Folks often chuckle when I say this, but it's meant for everybody. Really, anyone taking trips within the community to and from destinations in the community, we want everyone to ride it. That's actually a big piece of why we made it a free service.
I think that's probably one of the best things about the service is it's no buy-in, and there are no criteria on who can and can't ride.
You know, we've heard that the Denver Connector service has changed people's lives in the community, from families that don't have multiple cars, so they might be a one-car household. This really frees up parents to get to work, run errands with kids, get kids to after-school programs. For individuals with disabilities that they don't get out much, but this makes it so much easier with that door-to-door service. That's where the Denver Connector really shines, is that on-demand, the app capability for the smartphone, a dedicated dispatch in English and in Spanish, to really make this as convenient as grabbing car keys to get out your door.
I can call a ride on the app, and they advise you when the driver is showing up, so I don't have to go outside until I know that they are here or on their way. Very safe, very secure. I've never had to wait more than 10-15 minutes.
Download the app, you pick your service area, whether it's the GES service area or Montbello, and then you create a small profile about yourself, and then you start requesting rides.
If you have one in your community, ride it and ride it often. I think the more people using it, the more need there is to expand the services, and that's just the most tangible way to really kind of vote with your ridership there.
The Denver Connector and transportation is part of affordability in Denver, and that's a really hot topic right now with housing and affordability, and transportation is a piece of affordability.
I think we're proving what an asset it is to these communities that it is in.
So many people just tell me how grateful they are for this service, and you actually feel like you're making a difference.
On our average days, we're moving between 400 and 500 folks on this service, And overall, since we've added the connector to Denver streets, we've now moved over 75,000 people. So really excited about that milestone and that folks are really taking advantage of this service.
I've always wanted to be a public defender, and I have proof of that because when I was in 5th grade, I wrote an essay about my future job, and it's hanging in my office. And I wrote that when I grow up, I want to be a criminal defense lawyer. And I want to represent people who are charged with crimes. And my last sentence is that I hope someday I have the opportunity to go to court to see what my future will bring. So it was a good choice when I was in 5th grade. It's a good choice now. Some of the challenges of being a public defender are that, every single day it's hard work. You're going into court and you're representing people that are the most vulnerable in our society. I feel like we're fortunate in this municipality in Denver that we are fully staffed, that we are funded, our lawyers have great training, but that is unique. Anytime that anyone's charged with an offense, they should apply for a public defender, especially if they are with lower means, and it's very easy in our system to apply for a public defender. So if you're in court and you're charged with a crime, their applications for the municipal public defenders are at the courthouse. Our office is located here at 710 Colfax. You can come into the office any day between 9 and 12, meet with our admin, paralegal, lawyers, client support team, fill out an application, and once that's processed, you have a public defender. So everyone should have a lawyer. We have been celebrating the 60th anniversary of Gideon versus Wainwright, which was the seminal Supreme Court case on March of 1963 that said that everyone, the poor people and people with means, all deserve to be represented in the highest level as possible. And so since 1963, public defenders have been those people that go into court every day to represent the clients that are the most vulnerable. Public defenders are the people who are the experts in public defense. Public defenders are the people that stand next to their clients to ensure that the Constitution is seen and heard. We are the finest lawyers, I would say, in the courtroom. And it's, as we said before, it's a hard job, but it's the most important role in the criminal legal system because we stand between freedom and incarceration. So public defenders are the champions of justice as far as I'm concerned. And I think for everyone, hopefully. It's hard to describe how honored and privileged I am to be sitting in this chair. This office is unique nationally. Before I came here, I did some national public defense training and reform work, and I spent a lot of time in municipal and magistrate courts throughout the country. And so often I would see people that were charged with low-level misdemeanors not represented by public defenders and pleading guilty without ever seeing a lawyer, without ever seeing their evidence, and some going to jail without ever seeing a lawyer. And this office, the Office of the Municipal Public Defender here in Denver, is incredibly unique in terms of the fact that we have some of the finest lawyers in the country that are working every day to represent clients in court. We have a client support team, social workers, behavioral health navigators, peer navigators that are working hand in hand with our clients to hook them up with services. We have paralegals, we have administrative staff that are all working together holistically to ensure that no one falls through the cracks. So I walk through this office and I sit in this room and I see the people that are working, they choose to work here. Sometimes people say, oh, you're a public defender. These are the finest people that I've had the pleasure of working with. So I hope that people feel comfortable enough if they ever have any questions about municipal public defense, about how you go through the system, why it is important to have a public defender, what happens when you get one of our public defenders, and what services can we provide? Because when you walk into this office, I hope that you feel seen, and heard and valued, and that we can work together to ensure that the best result happens. Because even if a client is found guilty after trial, I've heard even in the past week, one of the clients turning to their public defender saying, "Thank you so much for working on my case. I wish that there were more people like you." And so it feels good to do work that is helping people, especially here in Denver. So I hope that this work continues, and the door is always open.
Bienvenidos a Bugs. Aquí encontrarás de todo: veneno, control mental y hasta explosivos.
Bugs is an immersive, artistic, but still deeply scientific exhibit that seeks to change our relationship with bugs and the way we see them, and seeks to inspire awe and perceive as superheroes these critters that we're usually grossed out by or freaked out by.
The exhibit is really cool. It comes to us from New Zealand. It was developed by Te Papa, which is the National Museum of New Zealand, and it was made in conjunction with the studio that was actually behind the special effects in some Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. It has a really interesting look and feel to it. It's very artistic and very dynamic. It has like these bold colors, like you feel immersed in like a different world, and it's the world of bugs.
Los insectos tienen 6 patas y el cuerpo dividido en 3 segmentos. Muchos tienen alas. Algunos que quizás conozcas son las libélulas, las hormigas y los escarabajos.
So for this exhibit, we wanted to try something different, and then it's the first time that we're doing a Spanish audio guide. In the past, we have tried booklets or certain family guides that were in Spanish, but we identified some problems, like, for example, the exhibit is gonna be dark, and it is not fair to be asking people to have to read something. We don't want there to be this barrier, so we started thinking like, okay, what could we do that addresses these problems? And then we said, well, if we had something that had audio and the text, at least we are providing people with 2 options, right? Another thing with audio guides is that sometimes there's this very complex process. You have to like rent a device and then carry the device. So we wanted it to be very easy for people to access. They can just access it from their cell phone through a QR code. And we wanted them to be able to go to explore the exhibit at their own pace, so they have control over that. So we wanted the layout of it to be very simple and very user-friendly.
Access and inclusion work cannot happen solely in theory and in a vacuum. People whose experiences authentically reflect our community, bringing those voices to the table produces work that is an honest reflection of what our community needs more and more.
As an immigrant, I know what it's like to be in a place, feel like I don't belong. And so if through this we can make people feel like they belong, because they do, we want everybody to feel like they belong in our doors, then that just makes my day.
Well, science affects the life of everybody, independent of language, independent of education, independent of occupation, independent of, well, where somebody came from, where somebody happened to be born. Science affects the life of everybody. So when we, as a museum of science and nature, want to present aspects of science to people, we want to reach people, we want to make it as easy as possible for people. And well, we have a huge Spanish-speaking population here in Colorado. You can go through the exhibit just enjoying how pretty it is, and just enjoying the big models and the fascinating colors and sounds that you're hearing. But if you want to learn more, and you happen to not speak English too well, then you have an opportunity to get the audio guide and learn things that way. We want to present it in a fun way that people just learn something without effort.
I feel like historically, science has been this like mythical creature that is so hard to understand, and we all had to go to school and almost like fight it, almost be like, this is so hard, I do not understand chemistry, I am failing math. by connecting it to fun exhibits that also deal with things that we see on our everyday life, like bugs, we are making it not only accessible but approachable and interesting. It's like, hey, these are scientists and you can be a scientist too. You in fact are a scientist. Every time you're curious and you wonder about the world, you are becoming a scientist. It is not just a thing that is for people in some ethereal realm. It's for everyone. Science is for everyone. We all live surrounded by science, and that's, well, another thing that we want to bring into the table.
Bugs is here till August, and I would just say I've never seen an exhibit like this. I've never seen an exhibit that presents content in such an adaptive way, whether you're interested in seeing real specimens and reading about them, seeing giant 3D models of scientific content with amazing detailed artistic interpretations, or just interactive games that get you learning about the content kinetically. This exhibit has it all.
So long term, the museum is committed to becoming more accessible and becoming fully bilingual. And this audio guide is just like a stepping stone towards that. But there are many other projects that we're committed with. Whenever we are developing a new permanent exhibit that is developed by the museum with museum staff, we are looking for it to be fully bilingual, which means that we are incorporating bilingual staff to this work. And we're hoping it can be like a cycle, that the more bilingual content that we can have, the more bilingual staff that we can bring inside the museum, and then that's how the ball gets rolling.
I have been hearing from my neighbors and fellow Denver residents about their higher energy costs. It really is attributed to the natural gas prices that are subject to global supply and demand, and really the cold winter that we experienced this year.
Energy increases have to be approved upon from Xcel Energy, but natural gas, when it goes up, that cost goes right on to the consumer. So over 70% of your heating bill right now, why it's so high, is coming from that natural gas being so high.
We do pass on the wholesale price to our customers. We do not add any profit to that natural gas price that folks see on their bills. And I want to emphasize that we don't see any profit, but because of the fluctuation of the natural gas prices globally, and again, that cold winter, that's really what drove those higher energy bills. The good news is that we are seeing a decrease in that. For the last 6 months or so, we've seen about 58% decrease in those bills. And of course, it's getting warmer, we're coming out of the winter, and so my fellow neighbors will be seeing a decrease in their energy bill.
From a climate action office, we're really about reducing greenhouse gas emissions, right? So energy efficiency not only saves you money, but also helps save the planet.
I think the first thing folks need to think about is their energy use. And all the little things add up to a lot of big things and will add up to savings.
So I think there's a variety of measures you can take, right? So you can start with small, little improvements, like maybe sealing a door or getting a smart thermostat.
Making sure all your light bulbs in your home are LED, ensuring that your thermostat is set in a good way. And then, we offer a lot of different rebates and programs that help anybody really who wants to participate, help them lower their energy use.
Or there's bigger improvements you can do, like maybe insulating the whole attic or switching from a gas furnace to an electric heat pump. Again, all of these are really expensive, and so with our nonprofit partners and other government partners, there's a lot of rebates out there.
We also offer a couple different programs called AC Rewards and Saver Switch, which help really optimize, again, your energy use in your home. And in fact, we incentivize our customers to join some of those programs. Some of the other rebates we offer are with air sealing and insulation, as well as heat pumps. The Home Energy Squad is such an exciting new program. I'm really excited that we're launching this here in Colorado. It's a team that will work with you virtually or visit your home to really just take an assessment of what's happening in your home, what type of energy savings can you do, really making an assessment and giving you some advice and some very real, tangible solutions towards your own home's efficiency in order for you to optimize your savings.
For my office, the Denver's Office of Climate Action, Sustainability and Resiliency does have heat pump rebates. So heat pumps can both heat and cool your home, and instead of using natural gas like a furnace does, they use electricity. So switching to a heat pump, which again, between us, the state, and federal incentives, Xcel Energy, there's thousands of dollars off you can get for a heat pump.
We have so many different programs where we can help our customers pay their energy bill and again, make their homes more efficient. We work with a variety of different agencies and nonprofits here in the Denver metro area, including Energy Outreach Colorado, Mile High Youth Corps, and several others. We would love to help either with the Home Energy Squad, to do the initial assessment, with all of these different rebates that we offer, and also really that very important help with the bill assistance through the LEAP programs. If folks want help and need more information, they can go to our website, xcelenergy.com/energy assistance.
So there's no silver bullet to helping you reduce your energy use. It's going to be very unique to your home, how old it is, what you have existing, but there are a lot of little steps you can do. And depending on your income level, there might be rebates that could cover up to 100% of those energy efficiency upgrades.
We are partners with the City and County of Denver with their 100% electrification goal here in the county. So our rebates really work in tandem with the City and County of Denver's rebates to really maximize our Denver customers' savings.
There's a lot of rebates out there. I'd encourage people to go online and really look at what's available to you.
Stay elevated by subscribing to the city's YouTube page for these stories and more. And stay tuned to our social media channels for more content. Don't miss our new episodes of Elevating Denver, premiering each month. Thanks for watching, Denver.